Morning. And I hope, excuse me, wherever you're joining us from, that you're having a great day. And I'm so excited to have you here joining us today. So, good morning, kids. Great to have you around. And what we're talking about today is the beauty of creation, the beauty of creation. And I'm looking right out here, and I see I'm going to swing this around, and you can see a beautiful tree right there out this window. And just take a minute yourselves, kids, and just think like, all right, so if you look around to a little window yourself, like, do you see any trees out there? Do you see any birds? This morning when I went over to my office, I even heard birds starting to sing, and it was so very nice to hear all that. I love that because it's just a reminder about creation and how creation works, and how God just creates this beautiful planet. Whether you're talking about birds or fish, that's what we do that with me, kids. Birds or fish that swim or trees that grow. Again, birds and fish and trees and all these beautiful things God creates. And God says all these things are good. So that's what I want to do. Is I want to read for you today a story of creation and talk about sort of what God says about creation. Now this is the beautiful picture here. I love this picture. Look at that picture, kids. Beautiful picture of everything being created. And that's what I want to read to you here. This is from Genesis, very beginning of the Bible. In the very beginning, God's love bubbled over when there was nothing else. No trees, no birds, no animals, no sky, no sea, only darkness. And I love that, right? God's love bubbled over. Out of this love, God spoke, "Let there be light." And there was day, and there was night. And when the first day was done, God smiled and knew that it was good. And so here we see, kids, like the creation of this beautiful light, and the light of the sun and the stars and the moon. It's all shining down on our earth. So I want to talk for a minute about that word where it says, and God said it was good. I love that word, kids. The word, like, say this word with me, tov, T-O-V, tov. And the word tov is Hebrew, which is how the Bible was written, this part of the Bible. And it's a beautiful language, still used by a lot of your Jewish brothers and sisters today. And that word tov means good. It means good. And God saw that it was good. And it's really important to look at that word good, because the word good there doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean perfect. Kids, if you ever tried to do something just perfectly, like, how many of us, raise your hand if you have you watched the Olympics this year? And we've watched a lot of them in our family, and we like watching the figure skating, right? And they do these fancy maneuvers where they like twirl around 4 times and then they land. And it's really hard to do it perfectly. Like, almost no one does it perfectly. We're watching one yesterday. She spun around a bunch of times, and then she just fell a little bit, and she put her hand down on the ice and came back up. And you know what I thought? I thought, oh, that's very good. Not perfect, but it certainly is very good. And kids, what I want to tell you is that's the way life really works. It's about doing your very best, about doing things and thinking, yeah, I want to do things because it's good to do things, and it's good to try, and it's good to make an effort. And to know as well that very rarely are we going to be able to do things perfectly. I know with a lot of things, right? You see the judges in the Olympics, and they judge on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, and you almost never see anyone score a 10. And you almost never, if it's a 1 to 100, you almost never see someone score 100. They usually make a couple little mistakes in there. And kids, that's life. And that's where God goes, oh, that's actually good. That's actually very good. Because you know why, kids? Because you're trying. We're all better off when people try things, even things that are hard, like figure skating and luge and these, kids, like, I watch these ones where these skiers go up and they do these jump things. And I think, like, well, I could never do that. I might be able to ride a sled, not fast, but I think I could ride a sled. Never would be able to do those ones where they're doing all those spins. But what we can do is we can look at it all. We can just get, oh yeah, that's how God creates the world. He doesn't create the world to be perfect. He creates the world to be good, and not only good, but very good. And when we see the world that way, guess what, kids? The light will shine. The light will shine. The light will shine. The light will shine. So that's my thought today for you kids. And just today, just again, just take a little breath and just say with me, life is good. Let's say it one more time together. Life is good. And if you're with your mom or your dad or a grandma or a grandpa or a friend, that's a good thing to tell them too, because we all need a reminder that life is good because that's how God created it. So that's my thought for the day, kids. What we're going to do now is I'm going to say a prayer. After the prayer, I'm going to do a little blessing, and then we'll wish you all a great week ahead. So, kids, here's a little prayer. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and bring you peace and bring you home. Amen. All right, kids, wishing you a great week. And for any of the mom and dads out there, you're welcome to join us at 10:30 a.m., either in person or online as well at www.newchurchlive.tv. Wishing everyone just a great week.